Question 1. Identify the misappropriation of asset by senior management highlighted in this case. Okay, in this case, misappropriation of asset highlighted by the management are: firstly, misappropriation of asset on fraudulent of travelling disbursement. This issue was involved by CEO of Lighting Logistic, who claimed the travelling expenses total of RM22,600 in February and RM31,300 in March, as shown in actual receipt and other relevant document. But in executive expense audit report stated that CEO's travel expenses were only claims of RM3,000 in February and RM4,200 in March. As Anna found out, there is fraudulent of cash which the CEO used that money of travelling claim to celebrate his son's wedding, which was cost RM53,900. Hence, this shows that the action of CEO clearly deliberate misappropriation of asset of the company, which leads to significant financial loss.
The answer for number 2, the weaknesses that happen in vendor selection process are: number 1, the CFO not conduct a proper assessments on vendor market. This is because the CFO still select and also rely on tepat packaging, even though this vendor is on average 50% higher than the other vendor. Therefore, without proper assessment on a vendor selection process, it will give cost to the company. Besides, the weaknesses number 2 is there is no segregation of duties on vendor selection process. The CFO only one that oversee the vendor selection process, since he is the one of the partner of the tepat packaging, so he can simply choose tepat packaging as their vendor without no one know that their selection is based on its interest. So, in order to address this issue, the organization need to conduct a proper assessment on a supplier's market. They need to identify potential vendor that is feasible sources of their required material packaging, so that the vendor can deliver high quality material and also can provide sufficient inventory when deliveries. The CFO need to do assessment on a price quoted by the vendor in the market, so that the organization can analyze which vendor that provide affordable price with a high quality service. On top of that, to overcome this issue, the organization also need to implement segregation of duties in vendor selection process. By doing this, it can improve internal control system in the organization and also assures that a mistake, intentional or unintentional, cannot be made without discovered by any other person. The organization can appoint the CAE in order to authorize the selection of the vendor that have been made by the CFO. Hence, the organization can prevent any mistake, intentional or unintentional, from individual in the organization. Furthermore, the CEO can request proposal of quotation to the all listed vendor. The request should contain all the details, including an introduction, summary of requirement, specification, price, and also terms and conditions. Therefore, the organization can compare which vendor is better to be chosen, so that this could give effective to the organization in vendor selection process.
Question 4. Discuss whether it is appropriate for Anna to use the social media to gather information. In my own opinion, it is appropriate for Anna to use the social media to gather information. As we know, social data is information that is collected from social media platforms. It also shows how users view, share, and engage with their content. By using the social media, Ana can clearly detect the things happen between Tepat Packaging Sdn Bhd and CFO of Lightning Logistics. So, she used social media as a platform to assist her in the investigation. It is also appropriate for her to use social media since it will give accurate information. For example, when she Google, she has knows that actually Tepat Packaging is a partnership and one of the partners is the CEO of Lightning Logistic. Next, by using social media also, Ana had found out that when she scans the Facebook page, she had comes across photos of the CFO attending the CEO's son's wedding celebration. She also reads a post by the CEO that his son's wedding celebration was RM 53,900, which coincides with the total of the CEO's travel expense claim of RM 22,600 in February and RM 31,300 in March. Thus, for me, it is appropriate if Ana use social media to assist her in investigation.
Question 5. Discuss on the approaches to the investigation in order to prove the fraud. First, fraud is an intentionally deceptive action designed to provide the perpetrator with an unlawful gain or to deny a right to a victim. Fraud can occur in finance, real estate, and also investment. Next, types of fraud include tax fraud, credit card fraud, and bankruptcy fraud. A fraudulent activity can be carried out by one individual, multiple individuals, or a business firm as a whole. Next, the approaches to the investigation in order to prove the fraud is evidence collection. To gather relevant evidence, the expert will target both internal documents and external records. The former includes personal files, internal phone records, the email, financial records, security camera tapes, and physical and IT system access record. For example, based on case, Ana may need to perform computer forensic examination to locate this evidence. Then, external records could include public record, customer and vendor information, media reports, and private detective report. Okay, lastly, evidence analysis. The expert will review and categorize the information collected, conduct computer-assisted data analysis, and test various hypotheses. For example, Ana will document and track every step in the investigation. She should do appropriate documentation covers privileged or confidential item. For example, request for document and electronic data. Next, Ana also will provide a report on her findings. She may determine the appropriate format for the report and how distribution will be affected by the need to provide legal privilege and avoid defamation. Thank you.